I'm trying to send a message to the.
Okay.
Okay, you can forward the message to those that you want to forward to. I forwarded to my own list.
Okay.
Looks like my face is not bright here.
It's getting bright and unbright. Maybe you should change the angle.
The angle, right? All right. I think we will be starting soon. It's almost getting to 2 p.m. Looks like some people have joined on WhatsApp. Sorry, on YouTube. Let me see. Let me see. The YouTube is saying waiting for Fodax Business School. I don't know why that is the case because we're already live. It's not showing us.
It's showing now.
Something is wrong.
It's showing.
Is it? Is
Yes.
your own showing?
Let me see.
My own is showing waiting for.
The YouTube is saying waiting for Fodax Business School. I don't know why
Okay.
that is. I don't know why.
Okay. So now we are officially live. We're just waiting for 12 o'clock to get started.
Okay. Let me see if I can send.
And for those who may be joining us now, this is structuring and systemizing your business. It's going to be it's going to be a conversation around business structuring, business systemization, and this is the first time I'm doing this with Mr. Happy. So I am excited that we're bringing this to your screen, and I hope we'll do more depending on the questions that you'll be sending to us. We'll be having conversations around stuff like this, and here and now. So once again, you're welcome to this particular program organized by the Fodax Business School, in which we're going to discuss structuring, and how to systemize your business, especially for those of us who have a growing business. But we're going to get into that. So before we continue, let me introduce myself, and Mr. Happy will also introduce himself. Both of us would ask questions and get answers from each other, as the case may be. So my name is Dr. Stephen Michael, and I am the founder of the Fodax Business School, as well as the Fodax Training Academy, and also the CEO of Zedla Enterprises. And what we do at Fodax Business School basically is that we provide unconventional and contemporary business education to entrepreneurs, especially African entrepreneurs. And we also do this in a very fast-paced manner. And we provide some other services like business consultation, business growth strategy, and different other packages that we have. And I am the author of Step Back, which is a book I started working on about 2, 3 years ago, but I hope it's going to be published anytime soon, which basically tells you practically what you have to do to put systems and structure into your business. So over to you, Mr. Happy. I can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear me. I think you
Oh,
muted
sorry about
yourself or
that.
something.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much, Dr. Mickey. That's a very um, plenty resume that you have there. Um, so my name is Happy Ruber, and I am the CEO of Staffmates. Um, Staffmates is a human resource insurtech startup that uses artificial intelligence to retain top talents. So pretty much what we do is to ensure that businesses can keep their best employees, because as we all know, employees leaving actually cost your business a lot of money. So I'm really happy about this because structuring your business is something that is I'm passionate about. Whenever I get people reach out to staff mates, most of the problems they talk about is pilfering. So my staff is stealing, my staff is stealing, my staff is stealing. And as I keep saying, stealing is not a function of having good people; it's a function of having good systems. Because no matter how you get involved into your business, what happens is that the person just learns from where the last person stopped and continues if the systems are not fixed. So I'm happy we're doing this. I'm happy we're bringing this to everyone, and I hope that everyone can learn as much as possible during this first life. All right, thank you very much. Over to you, Doctor.
Yes, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Um, I'm trying to reply some messages. All right. So I guess that brings us to the first question I would like to ask, and I would like us to clarify on, which is what exactly is structure? What exactly is system? Because when people hear systems, they are thinking of some very complicated, very complex um, methodology where you document everything, including how to breathe in the company. So, in your own words, how can you simplify? How can you explain system to someone that owns a shop and different things?
Okay, to the best of my ability, systems are pretty much a a way to do repetitive tasks in a way that it creates consistent results. Whenever I give training to new hires, all right, there's this thing I always tell them. My job as the owner of the business is to take care of the employees. The employees take care of the system. The system cares for the business, and the business cares for the customers. So I'm really big on that, and I feel that that description really explains what systemizing your business is about, which is having a structure that can run your business depending on who's at the background controlling the structure. So systems are nothing complicated. To the best of my ability, systems are just a way to ensure that every part of your business is connected and it's easy for you to track and it's repeatable over time. I don't know if that was complicated, but that's how I see systems actually.
I
How
don't
about
think
you,
it's
Dr. Mickey?
complicated. I think you explained it properly. For me,
Okay.
I look at system as a simplified process that helps me to organize my business in a way that everybody knows what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. A systemized process that allows everybody in my organization or in my company to know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And what that does for me practically is that it helps me to stay organized. So if you come to me and you ask for certain things, I can say something like, sorry, I'm not the right person to talk to about this. I may be the CEO, but I don't have the right to make certain decisions, even though it's my company. So I direct you to the right person. And if you follow the right person and you do the right things, then you achieve whatever goal that the organization has provided. You don't have to break protocol. You don't have to um, break the flow, because the flow is tested and trusted, and it has been systemized to make business easy for me so that I can stay with my family. I can do other things. I can pursue my visions, and I can actually be alive to build a business. So what system does is it takes the guesswork out of it. If I call you to my office and I ask you, what is your job? You will not be stammering or stuttering because it's been listed. This is what to do, this is when to do it, this is how to do it. And everybody is clear on that. And so if something is not working, I can easily track to know what is the problem, what is the process, how did we get here? All right, what are we doing wrong? It may be that I am not doing something I'm supposed to do, or the salespeople are not doing what they're supposed to do. So system is essentially that process, and it doesn't matter if you are selling solar panels, or you are selling you own a boutique, or you own a chain of hotels or restaurants. A system is a system. It basically tells everybody what to do, when to do it, and how to do it.
Thank you very much for that, Dr. Ming. So something you said really caught my attention. So I
Yes.
like at the end point of every system is creating consistency, right? I like that you explained that you get what you're looking for by coming to the particular staff that's supposed to be in charge of a system, and he implements the
Yes.
system the proper way.
Yes.
Something that really crops up whenever we talk about system is key man risk, right? So a lot of businesses have you see people that say, I have my best staff. As a business, it is big risk for you to actually have a staff that you consider your best staff in quotes. Why? Because if that staff goes, what happens is that the new person you employ will take 8 months, 8 to 9 months to actually get to that standard. But if the systems are there and they are documented in a way that he can easily step down the knowledge to someone else, what happens is you're eliminating human risk. So with or without that
Mhm.
person, you can always implement that particular process to create that result exactly the same way. The way I explained it during my training, as I said, and I always talk about systems. I always talk about systems when I'm training new hires, because most people don't understand why. So I own a restaurant. I didn't talk about that. So people don't understand why they have to use a lot of document like a bank in a restaurant. But I explain it. So if I need the accountant, let's say my accountant name is Mabel, for example. If I need Mabel every time I need accounting to be done, I don't have an accounting system. I have a Mabel. So if
Mhm.
Mabel gets married or she gets another job, what happens to that particular? There's a gap, and it shows in your bottom line. So I like the fact that you spoke about how it actually influences consistency, and something I agree on entirely.
Some businesses don't have accounting system. The account is done manually, uh, often by the CEO. The guy just scribbles something and says, we've done this. And some people even use receipts. Some people use receipts, which is wonderful, but I think it's terrible, considering the changing times. When you know the traditional receipts that they will write on paper and then they will hand it over to you, I think it's terrible because it's not systemized. It's not anybody can write anything there. There is no way to really go through all of that unless you have to be flipping the pages and somebody can tear it out. And also, how do I contact my customers? Do I have to now start writing out their names individually and different things? So I think, and some people don't have a system in place for marketing. Some people just do their marketing anyhow they want. So, but that will bring us to the next question I have actually, which is what are some of the common misconceptions that you've seen or you heard about systems, or misconceptions and mistakes as well that people make when it comes to system? I think I just mentioned one mistake, which is using a lot of or having a lot of reliance on manual or hard copy systems, because they are a type of system, but they're just not a very effective system.
Yeah, I agree.
So what can you say to that?
Um, um, So misconception. So a lot of people feel that system, as I said, and I face with my own business, people feel as if systems are for very large organizations. So banks, so for the shells, the IOCs, those are the people that need
That's true.
systems. They are very big, so it's very
The
complex.
corporate
Corporate
ones.
ones, yes.
Mm,
I'm me with my small hairdressing salon. Why do I need a system? But that brings me to something you spoke about, the
yeah.
receipts, for example. So let's look at a typical accounting system or a cash handling system, that ensures that when people come, there's
Mhm.
a way that is recorded every single time that ensures that money doesn't get misplaced. So if you are doing receipts, for example, and the receipt get lost. So sometimes they will have the back part, and when they write, it's now photocopy at the back. That is very old school, and that's very
Yes.
not you don't have the data. Right?
Inefficient.
Yeah, and the way people are
Yes.
going now in this world, data is actually gold now. With the whole advancement in technology,
Yes.
a company, two similar companies, if one is using data to make decisions and the other one is using receipt that was not printed to make decisions, there's going to be a lot of difference in their outcomes. Um, Sorry, Dr. Me, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay,
I can
so
hear
I feel
you, but the
one
network is
misconception
lagging.
people have is that it's for. Oh, okay, okay. So I feel one misconception people have is that it's for large organizations, and I'm here to tell you, and I'm sure Dr. Mickey agrees that no matter how small your business is, put a very simple system. If you have a barbing salon, for example,
Mm,
right? You want to,
mm,
as we said, the end goal of the system is to ensure that there's consistent outcome. So if a customer comes to the barbing salon today, you wash his hair, then you cut his hair, then whatever it is, do it in that sequence. All right. And what happens is that if you have to employ someone to do the work because they're trying to expand, the person can just look at the system and say, okay, wash hair, then cut hair before combing hair. And
mm.
what happens is that you're going to be able to create similar outcome. And that's the consistency that systems try to actually create in businesses, no matter the size. All right, over to you. What
Yes.
other
Yes.
misconception do you know, Dr. Miki?
Well, one of the misconceptions I've seen is people that they they want to build their system around their staff. Okay, they want to build a system around their staff. Now, essentially, what you should do is to build a system and then hire somebody that will manage the system. But I've seen a situation where somebody is trying to build a system for the person to manage it. Now, the problem with that is that when the person leaves, then you have to design another system because the previous one was designed to accommodate this person's maybe excesses or uniqueness or whatever. Now, what you should do is to just build a system that anybody that is going to occupy this position or this job role would ordinarily be able to do. Let's say, for instance, marketing. You are building a system, a marketing system. It should be something that whenever we hire you as a marketer, this is what we're expecting you to do. So if you know you cannot do it, then there is no need even hiring you in the first place. So you
Yeah.
you develop the roles, you develop the systems, you develop the mechanisms, you develop the processes and every of those things, and just let the individuals manage the system, but never build a system for a singular individual. I think that's one of the mistakes people make. And then another misconception, to talk about a misconception that I think I've seen people make with systems is some people think, just like you also mentioned, that it is for very big or very large organizations. But we've seen situations where even smaller companies, smaller organizations actually have systems that made life even way easier for them. System is not a very big something. Of course, there are more complicated aspects of it too that we can get into, but for smaller businesses, there is a way to simplify these things. Just a little bit of accounting system, a little bit of marketing system, a little bit of customer relationship management, and business is good to go, good to run. So that's essentially what I would like to say.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. So, to piggyback on
Viewers,
it.
while Mr. Happy is speaking, you can be dropping your questions if you have any. Go ahead,
Oh,
sir.
okay. Okay, to piggyback on what you said, another very popular one is that systems are fixed. So I get this a lot. You get people
Mm,
engaging and they want you to just come and build a system. A system that we can use for the next 10 years. Technology changes,
mm,
business changes,
yeah,
markets
yeah,
change. Um, um, So the only constant in life is actually change, and consumer needs
Change.
continually change
Mm,
dramatically. So if you
mm,
have a system to sell, for example, it's a very typical one.
mhm,
You have a system to sell. You're supposed to say this particular thing. Hi, good morning. This. The person answers. You have something to say immediately. So those are pitches. So we have in my business, for example, we have systems that actually help you to sell. We call them pitches. So when they come, we try to train the salesperson on using those pitches because we've tested them over time and we've ensured that they can work. But what we've noticed is that the customers that come to the business have changed since the beginning. Initially when we started, we had a lot of government patronage and government changed hands, and now we have a lot of students, and now we have the new Gen Z economy. What you say to them has to change. So thinking that systems are fixed
mhm.
and you have a particular way to sell to the way you're selling to someone that is 60 years old cannot be the same way you sell to someone that is 18 years old that comes for a date, for example. So you should be open to know that systems,
That's
no matter
true.
how much you pay to create them or how much time you take to create them, you have to be flexible enough to understand that you can actually modify the system as you get more data about cost and consumer behavior, as you get more data about your employees as
Mm,
well. You said something about you don't build the system around the employee, but it's always good to get feedback from the people
mhm.
that are on ground using the system. So this system, where are
Yes.
the bottlenecks? Then you
Yes.
guys should sit down together because people take ownership of things that they actually co-create. So most time when you create your system and they come in, give them chance, 3 months, 4 months, you guys should sit down together, look at the system again. What can we cut off? What is no longer relevant to what we do? Because as your product is changing, your business is changing, some things are
Yeah.
not relevant anymore. And it's the only way to know that is to actually speak to the people that are actually implementing the systems themselves. So while the as I said, the owner of the business takes care of the staff and the staff takes care of the system, you still need to ensure that you are looking at the system with the people that are actually operating the system. Because I don't have relating with the customers, I don't know what is working and what is not working. So systems are not flexible, and that's a misconception a lot of people have. Like it's a very fixed thing. Come and fix.
So let me
Yeah,
let me add something to that. Some other entrepreneurs also think that once you create a system, what it means is you will no longer be coming to work. You will just stay, enjoy
travel to
life. You will
Seychelles.
just nothing will happen to you again. Everything will be going perfectly. Please let me debunk that myth. System does not mean people betray systems. I hope you know. People are always people. They are going to want to do different things and all
Hmm.
that. System does not necessarily mean I don't have to go to work. I still go to work. I still work hard, just like every other
Yeah.
person. But there's a difference between when you are working on what you're supposed to be working on, as opposed to when you are doing everything. You are the accountant,
Hmm.
you are the marketer, you are the CEO, you are the chief operations officer, you are the this one, you are the customer service is you, this person is. So if you can see, you'll be very confused at the end of the day. So when we say system, we don't mean that you will now actually work. In fact, system itself, implementing system itself is a very
Yeah.
serious work. It will
Yeah.
task you, it will
Yeah.
challenge you, it will
Yeah.
motivate you. Sometimes it can be frustrating because you have to learn to trust other people to do the job. And some entrepreneurs don't really trust that somebody else can do the job better than themselves. They always feel like they are the ones that can do the job better than every
Hmm.
other person. And that is very, very wrong from a system perspective. You need to trust that somebody can do this job, hire the person, and train the person to do that job. So let me share this with you as a context. The title of my book, Step Back. The reason I titled that book Step Back and Systemize is that what I'm encouraging entrepreneurs to do is instead of being the actual person that does the job, right? Instead of being the one that goes to court case, that writes the cases, do the research for clients, why don't you step back and let other people do it while you coach them? Why don't you assume yourself as a coach, as a consultant, and then hire people and step back and watch them do it and tell them, no, you're not doing it right. This is how to do it. Don't do it this way, do it this way, and this is why. All right, next time, do it this way. Next time, do it that way. You basically become the consultant or the coach preparing these people to do the job. The more you provide feedback, the more they understand how to do the job. The more they understand how to do the job and do it better, the more you free up your time so that you can do other things. Now, this does not necessarily mean that you're going to be completely free to the point that you're no longer working. And I think some other persons can do that, but a true entrepreneur, you know, that you don't really work. You still working. You love to go to work. You love to get things done. So systemization does not mean that you will no longer have any work whatsoever to do in the company. No, you still have work to do, but you be focused on the core work, that is working on the business,
Not in it.
doing the big things. For me, that big company is being the marketer. I prefer to just be the marketing arm of my company. I prefer to do the advertising, the marketing, the whatever, than doing the actual job. So that is what system does. It helps you to focus on where you want to focus on, and then let other people do other things.
Yes, yes, that's very apt. Thank you very much. So when you spoke about
It's
how
my pleasure.
you try to create it and try to be the person that is just at the background, being a consultant, it's that really struck home for me because I feel like a big part of the system is actually
Yes.
understanding the need to delegate. As you said, a lot of entrepreneurs feel
Mm.
since I'm the one that started the business, it is my business. I'm the one that knows how to do it more than someone that you've employed to do a particular role every day, Monday to Friday. So most times we need to understand that although it is our vision, we started the business. Delegating is the only way we can grow. As you said, you cannot be working on your business if you're working in your business. So take an overview, as you said, and I feel like that's the easiest way to test if what you've created can work, can scale, because you cannot scale being the person pushing everything. No, nobody's an island. You break down.
That is true. That is true. So I think we've pretty much covered that part. Do you have other questions you would like us to look into?
Yes, yeah. So where do they know how to draw the line? So the reason a lot of people want to actually structure their business is because they need time. So whenever I have people come into my DMs and they're trying to book consultations, what they say is that I'm too stressed, I'm too stressed, I'm too stressed. And I'm laughing. You systemizing your business doesn't mean you wouldn't still stress. So how do you know where to draw that line, Dr. Mickey, from your point of view? How do you know where to draw that line between um, 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 systemizing completely and like going to seashells and leaving your business to auto run, or and actually being in the business and coordinating the systems that you've created?
For me, I think it boils down to two questions. If I understand the question correctly, it boils down to two questions. Do you want to leave the business, or do you want to build a better business? These are two different things. If you're tired of being an entrepreneur, just close the shop and go home. Entrepreneurship is not a child's play. You understand?
Yeah.
If you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to love work. You have to enjoy working. You have to enjoy solving problems, coming to work. Most entrepreneurs come to work before their staff, leave work after later than their staff. So you have to enjoy the process. But if your idea of building a system is that you don't want to work again, then leave the business entirely. For me, you just close the shop and let somebody else, let your competitor rise and take over. Because there is no, the essence of system is for you to build a better business. And what is a better business? A better business is a business that is growing efficiently, sustainably, and in a scalable way. So a good business should be able to grow. And my business cannot grow if everything depends on me. If I'm the one that have to take the call, write the message, write the proposal, submit the proposal, call this person, set up the email campaigns, the business cannot grow. I cannot have a family.
Mm,
My children, how can I spend time with my children if I'm always doing all of that?
mm.
So when you look at it, you see that to have a better business, I need to put systems. And to put system, I need to understand that the system is to accelerate, to stabilize, to help us to function more effectively and efficiently. The system is not for me to exclude myself from the business. Although there are other business systems that can allow you to somehow separate yourself from a business, but that would also require a different level of thinking and a different level of work. For example, franchising. Franchising is a business system that allows you to sort of remove yourself from the business, because the franchisee would have to be the one to worry about location, worry about staffing, worry about this and that. But before you can even get to the point where you are franchising, it means you have also paid your dues. It means you have also worked hard. And even after selling your franchise, you don't stop there. You have to continue working in many other ways. Just that you don't have to bear the burden or the challenges that comes with the unique locations and the different places where your business is located. So that's how I would basically respond to that question.
Thank you very much for that response. That was very that was very succinct because it reminded me of someone that I spoke to recently. That spoke about how they dropped the
Okay.
ball they want to franchise so they can step back. But the work required to franchise is a lot of work in itself. So I think you really hit the nail with that answer. So we're going to go to the next, which is mistakes. We're going to talk about common mistakes now. So Dr. Mickey, you're going to start with the
No, I think we've talked about the mistakes and
conceptions.
misconceptions.
Oh, okay. So is it time to
Yes.
get questions?
So we can look at our individual experiences, and then people can ask their questions. Yes.
Okay. All right. So
Mm.
so you go first. You go first. You're running a very big organization, so I'm sure you've experienced some setbacks regarding your system. So I would like to hear them, please. Share it with us.
Okay, let me begin with some of the systems we have in Fodax. First of all, I want to say that we are not where we want to be. There are still some lags. There are still some lapses. But the beautiful thing about system is that you don't have to systemize everything at once. You can systemize the core things for now, and then as you grow, you can add other systems. So in Fodax, one of the systems we've had is because we provide training. So we have our training system. We have a particular way that we hire trainers, we work with trainers, and trainers we train. For instance, it doesn't matter if you have a PhD in public speaking, for instance, you must do a 3 month internship program in Fodax before you become a trainer on our public speaking course. No trainer at all, it doesn't matter where you come from, that has ever trained with us officially in public speaking that did not do the 3 months internship program. In that 3 months, that's when we breed you, that's when we train you, that's when we retrain you, that's when we coach you, and that's when we watch you, see how you train and correct one or two things before you start. So we have that in place. We also have a customer relationship management system. We use Zoho, and with that Zoho, once you contact us and you're ready to pay, we after payment we ask for your full name, email, and phone number. We take your full name, email, and phone number. We put it into our Zoho. So with Zoho now we can track when you paid, how much you paid, and what program you paid for, and also we'll be able to reach back to you in the case of follow-up. So we have a customer relationship management system in place. We also have a WhatsApp group where we monitor customers or clients or students, and we talk to them. And we have a marketing system, a very wonderful, robust marketing system using our website and our Instagram pages. We spend significant amount of money monthly advertising to customers and directing them to our chats, our WhatsApp chats and our Instagram chats, where we have 2 customer service individuals that are there to respond to them, to talk to them, to chat with them. At some point, we thought of systemizing it, but we realized at this point there is no need. We want the human touch in our inbox for now until we overgrow the number of inquiries we get. And then talking about reporting systems. So because Fodax, we believe in running lean. We don't believe in having, I've seen some of my friends that own businesses, they'll have like 25 staff, you have 50 something staff. I don't think it's a bad thing, but I believe you should use as many staff as is necessary. So you shouldn't just overstaff the whole place. Just run it very lean and monitor your stuff very well. So we have a very simplified department in our place. We have the facility manager, we have the admin, and then we have trainers. That's it. Facility manager, admin, then customer reps or representatives, and then trainers. So every communication goes to the admin. And if admin requires approval, admin talks to me, then I will approve. But it's not everything that the admin requires approval from me. There are basic other things that admin already knows our decisions are clear, spelled out. But when it requires a bit of a high-stake decision or it requires some significant amount of money, then the admin would have to talk to the CEO, then the CEO would have to approve. And we also have a filing system in Fodax where, I don't know if you have noticed this, but in Fodax, we don't do anything with hard paper. We don't use Microsoft Word. We don't use CorelDRAW. We used to use them, but we stopped since last year. We don't use Microsoft. We don't use CorelDRAW. We use Canva. And the reason we use Canva is because it's very easy to teach and it's very easy to access. Even if you lose your system, even if you use your laptop, you can always access it back. And the reason we don't use Microsoft is because then people type something and it's on their laptop and their computer. And then if for any reason the laptop is stolen, our documents are lost. So we prefer you type on the cloud. That way, even if you lose your laptop, you just collect the next staff laptop, log in and continue from where you stopped. And also, if I want to supervise your work, I don't have to start asking you to bring file or send to my email. I could just log in on my own to your email account and supervise the work and see what you're doing. So I think we have a very, very simplified, probably one of the most simplified systems in Fodax, and we can do better. There are still other areas, where I need to improve more and more on. The challenges with system is the same challenge everybody faces, which is people. All right, you people are very, very different. People are very, very funny. Sometimes they want to just do things the way they want. Sometimes they want to break the system a little bit. They want to adjust it, and sometimes they don't want to follow the system at all. For instance, we have a system in Fodax whereby before 2 hours before class, you must have swept the class and you must have done some checks on the generator and other things and all that. But sometimes, for some reason, the facility manager may come a few minutes late, and then they will start rushing, and it's already maybe 1 o'clock, and class is 2 p.m. And then you come in by 1 o'clock, and somebody is sweeping, which is totally bad because somebody that has 2 p.m. class may decide to come early to class, and you don't want to come and see people sweeping. So then what do? You re-emphasize. And then next time it might happen again. And what do? I might say, okay, you know what? If this happens again, you'll be penalized. So the human element, sometimes you have to shout because it's like they're not getting what you're saying. And sometimes people feel like a little bit of excellence is too much to ask of them. And so that's basically the challenge. It's just a human challenge, the reinforcement challenge. And sometimes staff can work together to even beat the system.
Yeah.
The person that is supposed to supervise this person to make sure that this person does their job can collaborate with the person, and they will tell you we've done it, but they are not actually doing what you specified. So that's why you must have systems in place to checkmate your people by yourself and know what they are doing and know what is going on, and ensure that everybody follows the system they need to follow.
Thank you very much for that.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. I'm very impressed that you have, with such a lean team, you still have so much systems. It's actually very impressive. When you're talking about people that have a lot of staff, I was just in my mind, you're just call my name, just call my name. So in my business, for example, I have close to 50 people working. And although the departments are like, we have like 7 major departments, but we have like 50 staff because my business runs 24 hours. So they have to run like a shift
Okay.
a shift system.
Shifts.
But everything you said is not
And it's a restaurant, so restaurant normally has a lot of
has a
components.
lot of components. Yeah, there are
Only the cook
a lot
alone.
of moving parts. And as you said, to get them to integrate. So
Yes.
when you said that people try to beat the system, sometimes they're not doing it deliberately. It's just the fact that I've done this. So I have staff that have
Right.
worked with me for like 2 years. All right. I know how to do this. And when you do something, especially all those repetitive tasks, like what is required in like the hospitality industry, all those repetitive tasks, all those things that are routine, most times if you've done it like 60 times, you feel you know how to do it and you just leave it. I'm going to give an example. So
Yes.
we have like a 6-step selling process in my business. So as soon as the customer comes in and
Okay.
you ask for drinks, so drinks must come first, then you ask for food, then you deliver the food, then you pre-pause, then you check back, then you deliver check. 6 steps. And the thing is, I noticed that when people have done it, so if you use that system, you notice that it's very easy for you to upsell at the right times. You can get people to have higher tickets, so they can spend more in the bar. But after a while, you notice that people are already used to it, so they don't do it anymore. They're forgetting to check back, and the customer has already bought 30,000. Why should I check back on the customer again? Forgetting that if you use the process and
Yeah.
check back, you can still refill the glass, or you can get the person additional food. So a problem that I noticed
Yes.
in my business, for example, and I'm going to talk about here, is always good to try to tie it. You said that, so someone else in management should be able to track it. So it's always good to tie it to
Yes.
some sort of endpoint that is very difficult to avoid.
Okay.
So in my situation, what I did was that all the salespeople, the waitresses, for example, they have their dockets. All right, the docket is just a simple way you write write the order, ring the order. But on the back side of the docket, you're going to see places to tick. Greet customer, check, order drink, order food, order. What that does is that it's very difficult for you to forget, knowing that you've ticked, you deliver food. The next thing to do is to check back. They're supposed to pre-board. The customer is eating, come and clean the table. So what I've noticed is that something as simple as a selling process, people can feel so accustomed to it that they don't see the need to do it the way it is. And what happens is that when a a Amara, for example, comes to do it, it is very great because she's in the system. When the GM comes, she forgets a part of the system.
Mhm.
The experience of the customer both times becomes different. You know,
Will be inconsistent.
inconsistent. And as we said, the reason we're trying to create systems is to ensure that we can deliver the same level of
To be consistent.
yes, customers
Mhm.
every single time. And that's what writing down the system
Mhm.
does for me. Another thing is checklists. You know,
Yes.
last time we spoke, I spoke about checklists. So we have a lot of checklists in my business. Everybody has checklists. You have the opening checklist, you have the running checklist, and you have the closing checklist. What that's done, the checklist
Hmm.
system has helped us to remove a lot of brain power. So people will say, they're not letting us.
Hmm.
I'm not saying you shouldn't think, but think as you are thinking, still do what we say you should do. So if you are coming in, for example, as a supervisor,
Yes.
the same thing you said, supervisor, in the morning when you come, you check to see that everybody in the kitchen has cut all the condiments down. They are prepping. They are checking the bar to ensure that all the drinks are available. They are checking the stores to say those are
Hmm.
checklists. As simple as it sounds, it actually makes all the difference. If you go to
Hmm.
what's it called, to hotels, for example, big hotels, in the toilet, you find a
Mhm.
sheet that has time. That checklist system, you
Hmm.
watch there, you tick it, tick it, tick it. It actually makes all the difference. That's what separates businesses that actually look
Hmm.
that they are running on autopilot from businesses that they are always shouting, shouting, shouting. So in my business, I realized
Hmm.
that the checklist system has really helped us to ensure that the routine jobs that we do are usually consistent across board. So when we get someone in, it's also very easy to
Interesting.
train. So if you have a new customer a new staff that's coming now, most times when you have a body system, so there's a customer that is a new staff supposed to follow like an old staff. So we do the body system where for like 1 week you're learning what they do. But we ensure we don't do that until you've learned the system yourself. So that way you see people that are new
Yes.
telling the old staff that,
Mhm.
but it said we should check back. But we said
This is how it's supposed to be done.
so it will be done.
Yes.
So that way the
Yes.
person will not come and learn
Hmm.
bad habit from the other person that they're already trying to challenge. And so in as much as I have a lot of staff, I've realized that having systems ensure that each department and each
Hmm.
process is actually delivered in a consistent manner.
Hmm. This is really eye-opening, especially the part of having a checklist, because what it also does is that it takes the guesswork out of it.
Yeah.
So you're not guessing. You're not guessing. The checklist said this should be done. Have you done it or have you not done it? It's a simple question of yes or no. If you have done it, then yes. If you haven't done it, then maybe might as well just go and do it or lie. Now I know some Nigerians will say, but what if when staff are lying? Again, human beings, you can't completely 100% eradicate these things, but it is better for you as a business owner that things are clearly spelled
Yeah.
out and somebody lied
Yeah.
than things are not even clearly spelled out, because then you can't even say they are lying. You can't say they've done something wrong. Everybody is just trying to do it. Things we should also do for our staff is to teach them to think differently, because sometimes people are coming from bad places where they learn terrible habits. They are not disciplined
Yeah.
individuals. I know in my own company, sometimes I have to repeat certain things like more than 5 times to the same individual. I remember telling one of our managers in the other facility about the font type we use. We use a particular font type, and every time he will still miss it. I said, "Don't send me document without this font type. The font type is already there. Just select it. Font size, he will leave the font size like that. He will leave the whole thing. He will just leave things very. I said, no, no, don't ever give me this kind of document. You have to use the font type. You have to use the font style and the font type, and the font size should be proper. It should be at least 14 in size so that I can read it. And sometimes you see staff, they save things, they don't save it properly, they just leave it. The name is difficult to find. I said, no, you have to use the appropriate name so that when somebody else is looking for it, they will be able to find it. So, what system has done for me is it helps me now to just focus on managing my people, and then my people will be able to get the job done. As long as there is an oversight, there's a report system that helps them to do that. But I think I would like us to start closing on this session. I don't know if anybody has any questions. Please, they should forward it to our WhatsApp number, which was communicated earlier. Let me check the WhatsApp as well to see if anybody maybe sent a message. So if you have a message, please If you have a question, please drop your question so we can answer it. I want us to look at some of the areas that people can systemize. What are the core areas you think that needs a system?
Um, okay, as you said, you've already mentioned most of them. So operations is core. You need to systemize your operation. So if you have a restaurant, for example, there need to be recipes to prepare stuff. And so you do not boil the water more than the time it should be boiled, for example. You do not put a particular product for putting the other product. All of that routine actually join our preparation system. So your operations needs to be systemized. I think marketing as well, as you spoke about, your marketing needs to be systemized. So most times when you market, and you do, let's say you're sending out ads, it's always advisable the first time to do A and B testing. So you're sending two different ads, you're seeing which one resonates before you spend money on the one that gets more attraction. You cannot know that if you don't have a marketing system in place that ensures that you can get feedback from the outcomes of your ads you're promoting, for example. Another one is the accounting system. You cannot grow what you do not
Very
measure.
important.
You cannot grow what you do not measure, no matter how much you are selling. So I keep telling clients when I speak to them that it's better for you to sell 1 million naira a month and make 800K than for you to sell 100 million and make 100,000. And most times people are selling a lot, but they're not understanding that their company is bleeding. Either their gross margins are too low or their net profits are even too low. But since they're not recording, since they don't have a good accounting system that can show them, they don't have income statements, they don't have cash flow statements, they don't know what is actually happening in the business. Before you know, you are doing very well, but you are struggling. So I think an accounting system is also very important. So operations, marketing, accounting, then as you said, customer service as well, because customer is king. We're always trying to ensure that the customer experience the kind of across all touch points. If they're chatting with you on WhatsApp, they're chatting with you on Instagram, they're chatting with you they're getting an email, it should have the same kind of feel. Everything should be the same. Those systems in customer relationship management makes it easy for you to ensure that people can trust that when they send someone to your business, it's not something funny that is going to happen. So customer relations, accounting, operations, and marketing. I think those are actually core core systems that most businesses should try to put in place. How about you? What other ones do you think? I know I mentioned three of them you said already, but
Yes, there should also be a leadership system. How do you produce the people that will manage and continue running the system? How do you strategize? How do you make critical business decisions and all of that? And there should be a delivery. How do you deliver a delivery system? Do we package? How do we package? How many days after someone placed order do we deliver to them? Who reaches out to them? How do we follow up on people who have made payments? And how do we retarget them? There should be also a communication system that helps you to interact clientele. How do we have these conversations with them? Is it WhatsApp? What channels do we use? WhatsApp, Instagram, emails, and all of that. So having said that, I want to read out a question somebody sent here. I saw it. I'm just seeing it now. He said, I have a question. He said, are you saying that if after taking the pain to build a sustainable and stable business system, one can't step back from the business in terms of monitoring and overseeing the everyday business? No, that's not what I'm saying. If you have taken the pain to actually put the business and the business is now efficient, yes, you can step back. But if your idea of systemization is that once we start talking about system and we're trying to implement system, immediately you are going to have freedom, you will not need to come back to work again, then that doesn't work. But it's absolutely possible to systemize, monitor, and once the system is now operational, you can take yourself back or step back a little bit from the business and let the business run itself. All right. And then he said also, at what point in your business can you take a step back and be able to relax from constantly being in the business for things to work? Yeah. So we can't say exactly what points you will achieve full autonomy from your business, but we know it's very possible. We know it's very possible. We know it's very possible to get to a point, or even to have other businesses like myself. I have other businesses that I'm not directly involved in. I just build from day one. I systemize. But I can tell you one thing: it will cost you more when you want to do businesses that way. Because number one, you are not directly involved in that business. Number two, you need to hire people who have done that business before. You need experienced people because even you don't know what is needed. So you need to hire somebody who knows what they are doing. Then you now use them to systemize the business, and then you need to get a supervisor. In my own time, I used to have a garden, a very large garden that has restaurant and other things into it. In my own time, I had a PA, and my PA was the direct supervisor of that business. So they don't talk to me directly, they talk to the PA. And then the PA talks to me if there is any need, but he already understands what decisions I'm going to make and all that. So what that means is you're going to have somebody you are paying to do that. All right. So it is completely possible to systemize your business in a way that you can free yourself. But we don't want people thinking that this is a walk in the park. We don't want you thinking that immediately you put an accounting system, you cannot go and sleep, because these are human beings you are dealing with. They can steal your money, they can cheat you, they can take advantage of the system. However, if you want to get to that level, then you have to be willing to make certain sacrifices. For instance, in my restaurant, then I didn't want to put a CCTV. I just felt it was not, I don't really want to go to that extent. And there are so many places I would have to put CCTV. So if somebody really wants to have that level of autonomy, they would need CCTV. They would need somebody that will be watching the CCTV. They will need somebody that will be coming in weekly to do an audit. They will need. So are you willing to spend all that money to have proper systems in place? People like Dangote, Tony Elumelu, when they start businesses, they don't have to be involved. But they have the money, they have enough resources to employ proficient and qualified people. They pay them so well that you have to be, for you to start thinking of stealing, something is wrong with you. And then they still put very serious systems in place, even with lawyers, CCTV cameras, audits, and different things, just to make sure that those people don't do anything funny. And even at that, sometimes people still take advantage of them, but they don't care, they don't know. All right, so it is possible. But I don't know how Mr. Happy would react
Dr.
to
Modi,
that.
yeah, very nice. So I'd like to add to that. Very nice what you said. So to answer what he said, yes, it is possible to step back. Yes, it is very possible to step back. But as Dr. Mickey has said, the amount of work required before you can step back. So I'm going to give examples. Mark Zuckerberg is still running his business. Elon Musk, even because of Dodge, even during the Dodge period, there was still a lot of people shouting that he should come back. Is the CEO? Is he come back? Because why? Because the CEO of the business is the visionary. So if you are just an investor in the business, yes, you can invest and you can leave and you can watch from afar. But when I create systems for businesses, I create systems for the CEO as well. Because the CEO system may not be as vigorous as running operations, but you must be able to check things. And a very easy way to do this. So he spoke about paying people extremely well. If you don't have money to pay people extremely well, what you can do is to tie performance to results. So, for example, a staff is coming and the staff is late for work, so you want to find the staff. So there should be something for the staff coming early as well, and that's something we're trying to do with staff mates. So KPIs must always be tied to performance. So if a system is to be implemented, and you want to be at the oversight, you want to stay, you don't want to get involved, you should have things that you should track. I'm going to give you a very typical example. Net profit margins. So in my business, net profit margin is a KPI for the accounting system. So if you're not supposed to be approving things anyhow, and you're approving, and you go less than 40% margin, then you miss that KPI. It's actually a whooping 50,000 naira added to your salary at the end of the month. So what happens is that people, you see the staff trying very hard to ensure that they cut costs, to ensure that they can ensure that they get that extra money. So by the time you tie the result to the performance across board, across your major system. So a marketing system, for example, you're supposed to get 3 new leads every day. You're supposed to get 10 new leads every day. If you can get 10 new leads consistently for the whole month, you're going to get a bonus package. What happens is that you don't have to monitor that again, because the person is incentivized by making sure that the system actually works. So as I said, you need to build that across board, across all your systems before you say you want to step back and actually watch how your business will run without you. I hope that answers as well.
Yes, that's a wonderful one. I think we've shared quite a lot for today. Let's leave out some time so that we can come back some other day to continue discussing. Let me check if anybody sent questions. We don't. Oh, okay. I think he said, yes, thank you for the clarity. All right, you're welcome, sir. So I think that's where we stop for today. For those who want to continue working with us, I and Mr. Happy, we are collaborating and we're helping companies and organizations that are looking to systemize, and we're doing it differently. We're not just providing lectures unless you want lectures, but we can come and do it for you. You can hire us and we come together, we draft the entire system, we help you to install the system, we help you to even monitor the system, or at least put monitoring systems in place for you to see how the system is performing, and will be available to continue assisting you in your journey to systemizing your business. And if you want to automate, we have guys in our team that will help you to automate your entire system so that some things can run on their own. If you're someone that used to get inquiries and all that, those processes should be automated so that they can run on their own and you get to talk to people that are pre-qualified. If you want that to be installed into your system, you can send me a message or send Mr. Happy a message, and we would let you know the next steps so we can have conversations where we can help you to systemize and structure your own business. Mr. Happy, what is your final words to our viewers?
Thank you very much for all of you that joined. I really wish you guys luck in trying to systemize your business. And as Dr. Mickey has said, we're available if you need additional help. We can come in and help you do that as well. Thank you very much. I think our time is running up. So that will be goodbye from me.
Okay.
And I hope we will do this again.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Yes, surely come back again. Thank you very much, everyone. Please leave us testimonials and let us know what you learned and how you're implementing them. Thank you very
All
much.
right.